Commander Marcus Rivera found her in the abandoned cryogenic facility on Europa, naked and shivering against the ice-covered wall. The thermal scanner had detected her body heat from 3 kilometers away, an impossibility in the moon's sub-zero wasteland where unprotected human tissue would freeze solid in minutes. "Who are you?" Marcus asked, quickly removing his thermal jacket and wrapping it around her trembling form. Her skin was pale but unmarked by frostbite, her breathing shallow but steady. She looked up at him with eyes that seemed to hold depths of memory he couldn't fathom. "Please," she whispered, her voice barely audible above the howling wind outside the facility. "Pretend I'm your wife." Marcus activated his comm unit. "Base, this is Rivera. I've found a survivor at Grid 77 Alpha. Requesting immediate medical evacuation." The response crackled through static. "Negative, Rivera. That facility has been abandoned for 15 years. No survivors possible." He looked down at the woman in his arms. She was real, warm flesh and blood, not a hallucination brought on by Europa's isolation. "Base, I'm looking at her right now. She needs medical attention. Riley Martinez died in that facility during the first terraforming attempt," came the voice of Dr. Elizabeth Hawthorne, the mission's chief psychologist. "The records are clear, Marcus. She was your wife." The words hit him like a meteor impact. Riley. His wife, who had volunteered for the Europa colonization project, who had died when the life support systems failed during the brutal winter of 2157. He had joined this mission partly to honor her memory, partly to escape the pain of losing her. But this woman looked exactly like Riley, the same auburn hair, the same constellation of freckles across her shoulders, the same way she unconsciously bit her lower lip when afraid. "The quantum field generators," she said suddenly, as if reading his thoughts. "They malfunctioned during the storm. I remember the cold, and then, nothing. How long have I been here?" Marcus's mind raced through the possibilities. The facility had been experimenting with quantum stasis technology before its abandonment. Theoretical physics suggested that consciousness could exist in quantum superposition, maintaining cellular integrity at the subatomic level. But the technology was decades away from practical application. 15 years, he said softly. She absorbed this information with disturbing calm. "The quantum field must have preserved me in a state of temporal suspension. But the field is destabilizing now, I can feel it." As if summoned by her words, the facility's emergency lights began flickering. Ancient machinery hummed to life in the depths of the building, generating an ominous vibration that traveled through the ice-covered floors. "We need to leave," Marcus said, but she shook her head. "I'm tethered to this place, to the quantum field that's kept me alive. If I leave its range..." She didn't need to finish the sentence. Without the field's protection, her suspended biological processes would catch up with 15 years of entropy in seconds. Marcus felt the weight of impossible choice pressing down on him. This was Riley, or at least, some quantum echo of her consciousness preserved in a state between life and death. The scientific implications were staggering, but the personal implications were devastating. "I remember our last conversation," she said, reaching up to touch his face. "You promised you'd find a way to bring me back." The facility shuddered as another system came online. Warning lights bathed them in crimson as the quantum generators struggled to maintain coherence. Marcus realized he had perhaps minutes before the entire installation collapsed into quantum decay. "I can't leave you here," he said. "And I can't leave at all," she replied. "But you can stay. The field is large enough for 2 people. We could have the life we never got to finish." Outside, Europa's endless winter raged on, indifferent to human love and loss. Marcus held his wife, or her quantum ghost, and faced a choice that would define not just his future, but the nature of existence itself. The facility's systems continued their countdown toward critical failure, and time, both linear and quantum, was running out.